Perfect. Well, I'm really excited that I get to take the opportunity to go over a few things here. And I appreciate everybody coming to these. These are really fun. I think Dean did a terrific job earlier showing GroupWise 2012, some of the enhancements. So hopefully we can keep that going and build off of that. Just to kind of give you a general outline for my presentation today, I have a handful of slides I'm going to be going over, and then I'm actually going to do a product demonstration just to show the basic ins and outs, best practices, tips and tricks of the help desk. And more importantly, at the very end, I'm going to show you a brief look into our next major release, 10.0. I have a copy of that here, so I'll show you some of the visual enhancements and that type of thing. So for those of you that are customers that are on here, you at least have something to look forward to besides hearing my voice. Those of you that are not customers or haven't seen our product before, hopefully you'll find this beneficial. So to start off here, again, I'm Shay Miller. My official title here, I'm a customer care representative, so hopefully all of our customers on here know who I am and have done some sort of training with me here. GroupLink, we're based in Bountiful, Utah. We are a worldwide company. I've been a Novell partner for over 12 years. We try and provide an integrated service desk, provide all the ins and outs for the software and the integration pieces that you would need to be successful. Some of the best practices that we try and focus on is one of them being single point of contact. The idea is that the end users need to have one contact for their issues, so that way they know who to turn to or where to go for that issue that they've reported. The system can help facilitate that, whether it's communication lines or that open channel, so they can kind of have that, again, that single point of contact to understand and know what's happening, where their issue is, what's going on. So the communication channels are extremely important, but more importantly, it's going to be having that communication flow both ways, to the user as well as back to the technicians to be able to handle those issues. To ensure that that happens, we need to make sure that end users have an easy experience there. We try and provide them an easy way to see the updates of the ticket with their own portal, and I'll be showing that here shortly. It is web-based, so 24/7 access to that, as well as self-help knowledge-based articles to give them that access. And then they can access it anywhere on their phone, mobile device, tablet, wherever they are, anywhere, they can have access to the help desk. I already mentioned we are web-based, so anywhere, anytime, you can have access to the system to look at your tickets, to get that feedback, communication, and everything of that nature. Kind of already mentioned this again, opening the lines of communication. We have email notifications being passed back and forward. What's nice about the system is if, for example, an end user replies to an email, instead of logging into the system and updating the ticket, we can monitor that email. So we will update the ticket as well as send that email to the technician. So that way, instead of having multiple sources of information in different places, it'll all be contained within the ticket itself. So you can see all the updates, all the information, even the emails that are being passed back and forward, to get a true idea of the steps that it took to resolve this issue, as well as questions and concerns that your users have. We can also access and create appointments on the end user's calendar. We can do that directly from the ticket, so we can create an appointment, schedule a task, do a busy search, all of those things that you can do in GroupWise, that type of thing, and again, do that directly from a ticket. So if you need to go on site, you can make sure that they're going to be in the office or maybe away from the office, whatever you prefer, to have access to their computer to do what you need to do. And again, mentioning, like I did earlier, providing end users the ability to view and update tickets via the help desk portal. We do integrate with your current infrastructure, your database directory, email, asset tracker, that type of thing. The idea is anything that you're controlling or managing or updating, we want to automatically pull that information and contain it within our system. That way it's going to lessen your time and management, I guess, overall, which is going to lower the total cost for you. Maintenance time, implementation time, cost, everything of that nature, nice and easy, can pull that information into the system to help you and help streamline your processes there. Obviously, we are a help desk company, so we're going to track those incidents, log all issues and resolutions, so that way you can see trends within the help desk or technology issues. A lot of that resolves around reporting to be able to track and know exactly what's going on with all of the incidents, issues, questions that your users are having. It's used pretty extensively. We had a webinar about a week or two ago where our customer was using reporting. They have new Mac machines. So they've created different category and options to track their Mac incidents, and they're running the trends to compare the Macs versus some of their Windows machines to see, you know, overall cost, which one's more expensive or has more issues, that type of thing, to get a good idea of the trends that are happening there to kind of make a decision on what to do to move forward. Lastly, the feedback loop. Feedback from end users. We can notify them if feedback isn't received. So, you know, whether it's 5 days, 24 hours, 10 days, we can notify the user. We can have this be repeating even if you would like to say, hey, we need more information from you to resolve this issue. Then if you don't hear back from them in, you know, X amount of time, 10 days, 3 weeks, a month, 5 days, you know, whatever it is for your organization, then we can automatically close out this information. This is all automatic, so it's nice to be able to do that, to be able to get that, I guess, not only notification from the user, but the feedback from them, so that way you can move forward with the resolution process. We have mobility access, just a few statistics here. As you can see with smartphones, it's just a growing market. You know, it's going to almost triple in less than 3 years. It's pretty substantial, the amount of information and power that these mobile devices have. We obviously can access that from any mobile device, BlackBerry, iPhone, Android, you know, anything like that. A few other stats, as you can see, in a year, the numbers and some of their growth. Yeah, I guess that's enough to say about that. Tablet users, you can see here some current trends of just the internet in general, as well as your users and the type of support that you're going to see, Just to notice the percentage of change here, just because I think it's pretty substantial. See from 2010 to 2011, 158.6%. Notice percentage of total population by 2014, it'll be about 30%, and almost 36% of all internet users on tablets. So again, a very substantial amount of the market, and your internet, more importantly, again, based off of support and type of issues or trends that we're seeing in the world. More importantly, with the help desk trends, workflow management. The idea is we want to reduce your technician workload through automation, make these processes and tasks easy, and again, automatic, so that way your technicians don't have to worry about it or be fearful of remembering certain tasks. We're going to help that process, and even quick tickets, again, to help them reduce their time, workload, and so that way when they get a ticket, they can work on it immediately. You don't have a ticket, you're waiting for somebody else to do steps 1 and 2, and you just have this open ticket. Again, part of that memory, we understand, especially in the help desk world, you're busy, time is sensitive. We're going to help maximize your performance and your time and efficiency with this system. Asset management, we do have a built-in asset tracker. We also integrate with ZenWorks, so if you have that information or are using Zen, we have that link for you directly from the ticket, so you can tie assets to help desk tickets, run reports to find your most troublesome assets, whether it's a type of asset, hard or soft, anything like that. We can help report on that. as well as we have a remote control piece as well. Again, directly from the ticket, we can access the ZenWorks management page or remote control as well. Access control list, single point of contact. The idea is we're giving different access to different types of users. They're a technician, user, manager. They need to have different rights and roles and responsibilities. So we give them that ability so that way there's greater access and functionality for the greater abilities. Obviously, a technician needs to have greater access and flexibility than a user. Managers more than technicians, as I'm sure you could grasp. Again, the idea of ensuring that the best person is working on the issue. So you'll have full control over that setup and that situation there. 24/7 support. Since it is web-based, you'll have the ability to access it anywhere, submit tickets anytime, and again, people can work on them anywhere as well. So if you have multiple, locations that are working on different tickets, they can all help each other, whether it's off hours, on hours, anything like that. Obviously, the knowledge base, since we are web-based, you can access that at any time and move forward like that. So now on to the demonstration. Again, just like Amy said earlier, if you do have questions, comments while I'm presenting or with those slides, by all means, go ahead and put that in the chat or Q&A. We will go from there. Let me pull up my demo here. I'm just going to start off by showing an end user side of what they would see, and then we can jump into a technician manager and some of the differences here for us. So you notice right now I'm logged in. My name is Thomas Jones, just an end user here for us. I'll explain this page right now. Now, just so it's clear, this is my demo example here, so this may be a little sloppy at times just because some different tests and Q&A that I've done. So, again, just bear with me since this is my demo. But just to explain this page, here you'll notice I have two different tabs, the Owned by Me and the My Closed Tickets tab. What these two tabs are showing me is all of Thomas Jones' tickets. By rule, a user can only see tickets that they have submitted or that they are the contact of, meaning, somebody else has submitted on their behalf. So if Thomas Jones called in to, Amy, Amy's going to fill out a ticket for Thomas Jones. So Thomas Jones can still see those tickets, but he can't see anything else. The My Closed Tickets is showing all of the tickets that are currently closed, again assigned to Thomas Jones. The Owned by Me is obviously open tickets that are, again, assigned to Thomas Jones that are currently open. This Tickets and IT Ticket Pool, this is a custom tab that has been created. Again, Thomas Jones can only see the tickets that he is the contact of, but this one is just showing the tickets that are unassigned at this time, just to explain. Let me go ahead and create a ticket so you can see exactly the flow within a ticket. Notice right here, it's pulling automatically Thomas Jones's information here. His phone number, email, and address. If you have additional fields included in your directory, like, for example, title or location or room number or department or, anything of that nature, anything that I may have forgotten or in my bad examples that I skipped over, anything that's included in your directory, we can automatically pull. That would appear here underneath the contact information. So you would be able to see that there. Now, the first thing that's going to be selected is the location. We're going to select where they are. I'm in, the headquarters location, or I'm in our East office. Now we have our group, our IT or maintenance. Now, within the ticket, there is a hierarchical flow for this ticket. What I mean is, based off of what I select above, affects what's going to appear below. So now when I come in here to category, if I select hardware, for my category option, now I only have certain hardware issues here. If I come up here and change this to software, now you'll notice for my category option, I only have software issues. So it's a word issue. Notice that's automatically defaulting to the ticket pool here. If I come up here and change this now to maintenance, Now you'll see for my categories, I only have maintenance issues, right? It's plumbing. Well, is it a drain, a urinal, you know, a toilet issue, whatever it is. Now if I change it to general maintenance, you can see now is it carpet, ceiling tiles, chairs. Again, the idea is that we're going to make it an easy experience for the end user to submit a ticket. So if it's a desk issue, notice now it's going to our tech maintenance group and to that technician, whoever it may be. All we need to finalize this is to fill out a subject. The desk is broken, right? It is folding in half, whatever it may be. When we save changes, right, now you'll notice it says save successful here. Just to further explain what's going to happen after this point, an email is going to be sent out to the technician, this tech maintenance. He's going to get notified to say, hey, there's a new issue that needs to be resolved. It's going to have a ticket link in that email as well. So he can either log into the help desk or he can click from that email and it will automatically pull open this ticket here where he can make edits, changes, that type of thing. So that's going to be submitting a ticket and, again, kind of the end user side of this form. Let me go ahead and log out and log in as a technician just so you can see a few of the small differences and changes. And I'll kind of go into a few of these things here as well. Notice here initially that some of the first changes, as you can see, is the amount of tabs that I have. Now these are custom tabs that I've created. You can have as many tabs as you would like. It's not going to make a difference either way. Again, by default, everyone is going to have these two tabs, the Owned by Me and the My Closed Tickets. You can delete them, remove them, change the information that it's showing, but again, the user even had these tabs. What it's showing is now I'm logged in as Test User 55, right? That's my name. The Owned by Me and the My Closed Tickets is showing all of the tickets that Test User 55 is the contact of. So he's the person having the problem. Again, these other tabs are custom tabs that I've created. For example, this IT request is showing me all of the IT issues that I'm currently having. There's 94 of them. This ticket's assigned to me is showing all of the tickets that is assigned to Test User 55 to work on. You'll notice this last column. It's assigned to Test User 55. Chris's filter, this is probably a demo that I did for somebody named Chris. It looks like this is assigned to Alan or showing different criteria here, as you can see. Tickets in IT ticket pool, it's showing all of the tickets in the IT ticket pool no matter who the contact was. You remember our user, Thomas Jones, had the same tab, but he only has access to see the information, again, that he is the contact of, where a technician can view all group tickets. Again, that's if you, as a system admin, decide that he can view all of the IT ticket pool tickets. So again, a technician, you can decide if he has the ability to view all group tickets or not. It's up to you. So now, let me jump in here and actually create a new ticket just so you can see some of the greater abilities that a technician has. Again, part of that access control list, being able to control and understand the different abilities and rights that each role has within the system. Notice again by default that the contact information is being pulled. I'm user 55, test user 55, excuse me. Again, that's who I'm logged in as. One of the greater abilities a technician has is the ability to change this information. So if it's Kim Gardner that's calling me, or that grabbed me in the hallway or ran into my office screaming and yelling because their computer broke down, well, I'm going to fill out a ticket and have Kim be the contact of that. Again, the contact is for the person that's having the problem. Once I select their name, their information will automatically pull here, as you can see, Kim Gardner. If I change it to say Stephen Olson, right, now you can see Stephen Olson. So once I change the contact, again, any of the directory information will automatically pull that in here. Now location, right, as you can see, I'm going to fill out the ticket exactly the same way that I did before. it's, again, a software issue, or it's a group-wise issue. Their email is broken. It came up with an error message. And now for assignment, notice instead of defaulting automatically to the ticket pool, I can decide out of everyone that's a part of this group who was assigned the ticket. So if I'm working on this, I'm just going to assign it to myself. Or again, if it's over my head, and let's say James is responsible, he's our group-wise admin, right? I'm just going to assign it to him. Steven's in the office number 55. Now this is a custom field that I've created. I'll mention that again later. But again, all I have to say is error message 202 won't start group-wise, right? Again, whatever it is. A few other things to point out over here on the right-hand side, is initial fields that the user cannot see. Priority, status, estimated completion date. So notice here for priority, low, medium, and high, I have it defaulting automatically to low. We can change this. Again, the system is completely customizable to you and your organization. We're going to meet your needs. So if you have a numbering structure, 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, or a color, blue, orange, red, black, or whatever it might be, we can help you meet all of that, whether it's by verbiage, by color, or anything like that. Status as well works exactly the same way. Default here is assigned not updated. We can change whatever the default is, or add some of these custom fields, or custom statuses here. If you want to have an approved status, I've seen that work extensively, especially when we talk about workflow steps. Some of those would work out as well. Awaiting response from user was one of the examples in that slide. This status, what I've set up here in the system is, if I need additional information from the user, this contact here, I'm going to select this status, and then it's going to go through that flow that I mentioned in the slide, where after 3 days or every 3 days, I'm going to send an email to the user saying, hey, I need more information in order to resolve your issue. Maybe we're going to repeat that every single day, right? Maybe we don't want to be annoying, but you get the idea. And then after, after 10 days, if nothing has happened from the user, they haven't replied after the 3rd email that I've sent out, we're just going to close out the ticket and send out the email. We can do that automatically. Just change it from awaiting response to closed, so that way you don't have to worry about it. Again, the idea is we're maximizing your time and helping you be more efficient by automating these tools. By automating these tools, where if you need additional information from the user, all you have to do is set the status. Once the user replies, well, you're going to get an email about that anyway, so you're going to get notified. If it doesn't get notified or updated, or you get notified, then we're going to automatically close it out. You don't have to worry about it until the user replies. That's the idea. Estimated completion date, now that's a manual field. Again, the user can't see this because I'm sure most of you would relate and say that if a user submitted this ticket, estimated completion date would probably be Tuesday. Priority is going to be high or critical or whatever your verbiage is there too. I'll go ahead and save this. Also notice that the notification boxes here, a technician or manager has the ability to not send out the email notifications if it's not needed. So for example, if he's already resolved this issue, like I said, Steven ran into my office, needed this fixed, so I ran over there and I realized that he didn't click the GroupWise icon, right? He clicked on Outlook, and we don't have Outlook set up, or whatever it is. I'm sure you guys have gotten many requests similar to this that are almost laughable at times. And yes, laughable is a word now. So you don't want to send out the email notifications. It's already closed. We don't have to worry about it. We're just going to save it. Now this ticket is done. Right? Pretty easy submission process. Again, a greater ability that the technician manager, we've created a function and tool within the system to be able to convert these tickets automatically to a KB article once they are closed. What this is doing, it's going to take the initial subject and note here, as well as everything that's contained in the history comments. Now this might be a kind of bad example. Let's see if I can find a better example real quick, because I spend a whole lot of time on here. Well, this one works. There's no history comments, but this will still get the idea across. I'll actually make a history comment real quick. Of course, there's sub-tickets. All right, different example. This is what happens when you try and do things on the fly, right? It's always the way it goes. Close, you can see, obviously this is part of my demo. Save this. Now, anytime we're saving this, this window is popping up. So just to explain why this is doing is, best practices tells us that we need to update anytime we're updating the ticket, we need to document those changes. Now, we do that in two different steps, or two different parts of documenting. One's going to be here, obviously, what I manually put in here. So subject had to reinstall GroupWise 8, or again, whatever it is. You know, troubleshooted error 202, had to reinstall because of a corrupt file. Right, I'm just documenting this, you know, the steps that I did for this. Now, this may not all be in one update. Maybe you first troubleshooted error 202, and then you escalated it to, you know, Q or Josh to work on it, and then they're going to reinstall because the file's corrupt. You know, again, I'm terrible at examples. Just use your imagination with me. The idea is we're documenting all of this. Notice the notification boxes here as well. We can do that, or we can simply continue without comments. Let me go ahead and save this now. Once the ticket's closed, remember my convert to KB article. It's pulling this automatically. Let me just click on this so you can see. So here you can see, again, the default subject and note as part of the ticket. Again, in this example, it's pretty bad. But for the resolution steps here, this is going to be everything that I've saved automatically here. Troubleshooted the error, had to reinstall. So when there's multiple comments or steps, no matter who's made that comment, if it's, you know, had to be escalated 2 or 3 different times, whatever it may be, all of those steps will be documented here. We troubleshooted, it had to be reinstalled, we had to update the server, we had to do this and this and this. If you have that already documented in a Word doc or anything else, we can add an attachment. We can add any special characters or do whatever we need to, as you can see with our editing tools here. Once that's done, we can save it. All right, great. Here's the article. So now for a future reference, if we need, we can email this information, email the whole page or just the link. We can edit it if we need. We can remove it entirely, whatever it may be for this knowledge base article. Just so you know, let's actually get out of this, come back here to my full screen view. This is a Google-like search, so you can search the subject and body, and it will pull open the most relevant information first. So if I do, let's do Adobe, right, it's going to pull open the most relevant. So if I did Adobe Reader, maybe both of them have that information in here, maybe not. The idea behind this as well is based off of the criteria that I'm providing, it's going to pull open the most viewed first. Notice 24 and 4, as you can see here for viewed. It's not in alphabetical because D is before A, but you get the idea. That's how the KB works. Again, this is a very quick overview of the system and how it works. If you want a more detailed overview, by all means, you know, we can do that. We can tailor it specifically to your organization and your infrastructure. Just go ahead and let us know. The idea is that we can help with this and, I guess, at a later time be more specific with what we need. Let me just show you a few other tools briefly that we have in here to help either a technician or manager find the tickets. Remember, a user can only see their tickets, so from a technician manager standpoint, just on your day-to-day operations, again, helping you be more efficient, there's a few different things we can do. Notice this search box up here. We can really type in any information that we would like to try and find a certain ticket. So if I come up here and type computer, it's going to pull open information, again, that's going to be most relevant to the information that I've typed in. Jane needs a new computer ASAP, right? I need a new computer. These are different tickets. Here's the ticket numbers. I can open them up individually if I need to be able to review, close out if you're just looking for a quick update or whatever it might be. You get the idea. If I typed in additional information, computer password or computer Shay Miller, because I'm working on it, again, it's going to pull open the information that's most relevant to find it that way. If I know who is assigned this ticket, right? Am I in this database? No. If it's, right, John Doe that's called in, and he's saying, you know, my computer isn't fixed, what's going on? And you already know there's a ticket, you can either, again, search that way, or you can come up here and find John Doe's name. So now let me maximize this screen so you can see exactly. This is going to show me all of John Doe's tickets. He has 13 tickets open. What's nice about this is these are fixed fields. So because of that, we can have filter boxes in here. So now you can come up here and you can say, where is his computer ticket? Right, again, I don't know this demo, as you can tell. It looks like he doesn't have one. Or maybe it's currently closed, right? We're going to look at closed tickets now as well. And just by luck, there is a few closed tickets. So now we're going to open this up and find out what exactly is going on with his desktop or whatever it might be. All right. You get the idea. The idea is we can filter down based off of the information, and now we're only looking at John Doe's tickets, and we can filter out that way. Or if it doesn't meet that criteria, we can create a new ticket directly from here. It's going to pull open a new window, and what's nice about this is that it will automatically pull his information, where if we clicked it from the other link, it would pull open my information. Right? It's just saying we already know that we're creating this for John Doe and wants to see that there. The other way to help you in your quest is, again, customizing these tabs. We can have these tabs broken out in as many different ways as we would like. It kind of takes us into our reporting. We can say, right now, currently, all that this filter is showing me is all the tickets that are assigned to test user 55 to work on. And status is not equals closed. So all of the open tickets that are assigned to test user. If you want to specify a certain location, right, now we're looking at, again, East Office, test user, and open tickets. We can even further specify and say high priority tickets. You know, if you get too fine-tuned, obviously there's not going to be a lot of tickets to work with. But instead of doing that, we can maybe specify and say, I want to look at tickets that were created today, or this week, this month, in the last 2 hours, right? Whatever it might be, we can help fine-tune this information. We have a lot of different boxes here if I click on more of these for you. So that way we can set up the parameters for really any or all of this information. Whether it's our ZenWorks assets, our internal asset tracker, we can find specific assets, do whatever we need to do. And again, we have a lot of different Boolean operators to help you. Equals, not equals, greater than, less than, contains, starts with, not contains, right? And then again, I already showed you some of the date fields, a range, last X days, X weeks, months, years. So the parameters and the functionality and flexibility we have within the system is great and really allows you to set up whatever parameters that you would like, even with custom fields that you've created. If it's a drop-down or a text field or whatever it might be, any of those custom fields that you've created, we can help search on those. So once you've set up the parameters as part of that filter, then what we can do is create a graphical report to represent that. So notice this one. I'm going to run this, and then I'll show you what I've done with this report. This is all of my open IT requests by location. So I have 93 open IT requests, and I'm breaking it apart by my 5 locations, as you can see here. 49 for headquarters, 26 East Office. You can see the other numbers here. What's nice about this is if I click on headquarters, my 49 tickets now gets regrouped into Looks like by category, group-wise hardware, server, software, training requests. So you can really get a good idea based off of location what the most problematic issue is at this current time, right? It's a hardware issue. When I select hardware, now I'm going to look at the detailed information for my 19 hardware tickets. What's nice about this, right, is if I select the ticket ID number, it's going to physically pull open the ticket here, so now I can make any changes, updates, whatever it might be to this. Or if I come back to my report, if I select the assigned to, the technician, whether it's James or the ticket pool or John, whoever it is, it's actually going to pull open an email where I can email John and say, hey, this hasn't been updated since last April. What's the problem or what's going on? So directly from the report itself, we can email that information. So let me come in here to the setup just so you can see briefly on what this is going to do. Notice the first thing that it's asking me for is a saved ticket filter, IT request. So again, whatever parameters I've set as part of this filter is saved, and now I can create a report off of that. So whether it's off of tickets that are assigned to me or maintenance requests or whatever it is, again, the filter is going to be the information that it is. And then we're just simply grouping the information. Again, before it was grouped by location and category. Maybe we just want to do by technician and then by priority so you can see. So again, first grouping the information by technician, then by priority. Let's rerun this information so you can see. Oops. I'll make this I keep clicking, sorry. I'll make this maximize this so you can see, right? Again, my 93 open IT tickets, now I'm grouping it by technician. So it looks like the ticket pool has the majority of the requests here, as you can see. James is the one that looks like most problematic or whatever it might be. If I select James's name, now I can look at his tickets. Looks like he has tons of high priority tickets, right? Now I can look at all of the high priority tickets, see why he has so many, how come they're not closed. I can email him if I need, whatever it might be. That's how reporting works. It's giving you a snapshot of basically that filter and graphically representing the information in a way that you can compare and contrast to be able to see the trends. Again, comparing different instances or categories to see which one has been most problematic. Just so you know, the next thing, or as part of this, would be dashboards. I'll just run this so you can see it. But what this is showing me is, sorry, I had to click on it. What this is showing me, it's just like a report, basically, but it's a live widget format. Now, this one has 4 or 5 different widgets. It's just my demo dashboard to kind of give you a broad overview of a dashboard and what it can do. But again, it's a live widget format. So every 30, 45 seconds, it's going to ping the database. If there's a new ticket created or if James starts closing out tickets or whatever it might be, this will actually fluctuate and change. So you notice all high priority tickets, we can have like a speedometer almost view like this. All open tickets, right? James, I think he had 28 if I remember right. This is the ticket pool, it had about 55. Tickets by location, as you can see here. Obviously, I need to go in and change my thresholds here to really encompass everything. And again, this is completely customizable here. Tickets in IT ticket pool, notice right now we have 45. Notice how the whole thermometer is red. That's because of the thresholds as I've set here. If you notice these pegs right here, it's above the red threshold. So that's why the whole thermometer is red. If this happened to dip below 35, it would be yellow. If it was below 15, it would be green. So again, if you have a projector or whatever it might be, you can project this in your break room, right? You can resize this, whatever is aesthetically beneficial for you. But again, we can set the thresholds or have as many or as few of these as you would like for the dashboard. And again, this is live. That's how dashboards works. Let me just finish up by showing ticket templates because I know I mentioned this earlier. And then, well, actually, I'm going to log in as a manager because one of the greater abilities a manager has for this is being able to edit ticket templates where technicians can only launch some of these. And I just want to, and then I'll end by showing a 10.0. We'll have some Q&A if there is any questions. Haven't seen any come through yet, so the ticket templates, there's 3 ways that I've seen it used right now. Typically, they fall into one of these 3 categories. One is going to be project management. If you have a specific workflow, steps that need to take place, my example I use for that is going to be my new hire, right? There's A, B, C, and D, things that need to get done when somebody is hired. The second way that ticket templates are typically used is for a quick ticket. Reset username and password. If you're getting 10 requests a day or whatever it might be, reset username and password is going to be a way for a quick ticket. And I'll show you that here in a second. The last way is going to be for scheduled tasks or automatic ticket creation. What I mean is, East Office preventative maintenance, or if you have a monthly website update or backing up of servers and certain things need to happen, that's weekly or whatever it might be. We're going to have a scheduled pattern, and when it meets that scheduled pattern, we're going to automatically create tickets and send out the email notifications to whoever we've assigned to receive those, and they're going to get that information. So let me first show you this quick ticket idea so you can see. Notice that with this, it's only one ticket here. I'm setting up all the defaults here on the back end. All the information is already filled out. Notice my status is already set to resolve, and I'm giving them steps on how to resolve the ticket. And maybe I'm already doing this for them, but the idea is that in the future, if they need to reset their username and password, hopefully this will be like a training principle for them. 1, do this, 2, do this, 3, do this. Notice my contact field is blank. If somebody runs my office or if I'm out on site, whatever it may be, all I'm going to have to do as a technician or manager is fill out the contact field and to launch this ticket template process. It's a quick ticket. That's the only field that needs to be filled out. Boom, you're done. That's how it works. Notice this is a public ticket template. What I mean is if you dared, and it is public, a user could technically launch this ticket template process. Understand that it's going to default pull in their contact name here. So really, there's going to be no steps for them. All they have to do is select this and launch it, and it's done. The next one I want to go over is the scheduled task. Just to show you briefly is for this I have 5 tickets here. I have my parent ticket and then sub-tickets. When I say that, I hope that parent sub-tickets or child tickets make sense to everybody. I have 5 tasks that are going out here, right? This is for my maintenance group, and it's going to work the same. Check the HVAC, right? Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. Clean the smoke detectors, right? Again, assigned to George. 3 things that needs to happen. Air handlers, right? Again, assigned to George. This needs to happen. These are the sides. You need 3 of them, right? Whatever it might be. If I come over here to my reoccurrence tab, notice I'm setting a reoccurring pattern. This is happening yearly, the day 1 of January. So every year, January, this is happening. We can be very detailed if we would like. On the 5th day of every 3rd month or 4th month, whatever it might be, or on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, we're going to create this, or whatever pattern you can think of, we can help automate that process here for you. Every 3rd Friday, we're going to create this. You get the idea for the recurring pattern. What's nice is, again, it's going to automatically create these tickets and send them out to the appropriate people once that pattern is met. The last one's going to be the project management. Just to show you, it's going to work exactly the same way as some of the others. There's just an extra step. Notice here, right, set up workstation, software setup, train on policies, manager's final approval. Notice here the different assignments. This one's assigned to John Doe. This one is assigned to Diane. This one's assigned to James. When I come over here to workflow, right, I have a few different steps. I'm launching these two steps, set up workstation and phone first. Once they are set to resolve, I'm doing software setup. Once that ticket is closed, then I'm going to train on policies. Once that is closed, then I'm in manager's final approval. So we can have as many steps as we would like for these. Now I have 3 steps here for step 2 and 2 on step 1, and that's it, right? Pretty straightforward. The idea is we're maximizing our time and efficiency, so that way we're not going to have our manager finally or approve this process until they're trained and their software set up. We don't want our manager mad, right? Whatever it is, that's the idea. We want to make sure every other task is completed. Another example, just to briefly explain it to you, if you have an approved status, if you have, a process for new computers or buying something or whatever it might be, you can have a certain ticket for that. Once the manager sets it to approved, then we're going to do A, B, C, and D. Right? You get the idea. That's how ticket templates works. That's how it is. So I hope that's a quick enough example for you on the system. Let's briefly jump into 10.0 so you can see that and how it's going to work. Now, I don't have a lot of time left, and we're actually going to have a different webinar about this next week for all of our customers. So this is really just a brief overview, maybe a teaser for most of you. I'm just going to log in as a user. Notice this whole login page is revamped. You'll notice once I get in here that the whole style and flow, the interface, has changed. All the buttons and everything is in the same place, but the view has changed. Let me open a new ticket here. Sorry, it's on my other screen. Let me bring it over. Notice now I'm logged in as Tom Sawyer here. Contact information is now hidden, and what it's doing as a user, it's automatically pulling up certain information by default here for me. East Office and the IT group. For location, this is something that I've set up as a default for Tom Sawyer. I've selected him to be part of the East Office. So now, again, to make things a little bit easier even for the user, all they're going to have to do is select the category, right? It's an email issue, it's an error message. Now it's being assigned to Jim Carrey, right? Or it's an other, or it's a software issue, right? Microsoft Office. You get the idea. It's going to work exactly the same way. We're just helping streamline some of those processes. If I happen to change, the contact or whatever, it could help change at least the default location. Let me show you one of the bigger things that has changed real quick. That's nice. Obviously, for location, if I come up here and just change it right, I'm actually at the high school. It's going to keep and maintain the other information. So if you in your directory have a location that is, the high school or whatever it is, we can automatically select that location, that field, to automatically pull from here. Just so you know and so it's clear for everybody, it doesn't necessarily stop the person from, if they move around, which I see oftentimes with organizations, they could technically come up here and change that as you saw me do, but the idea is we're going to automatically pull the information here for them. Right? Basic other layout for the ticket's exactly the same. Again, though, just the general layout of how it's going to work. Everything else is just updated. It's a little bit fresher, cleaner look to it. Right? You can tell that I haven't been in here a whole lot for this, but again, it's just a nice, cleaner layout for this. If I come back in here to the ticket search, I know I was there earlier. Slightly different look and feel for it. Notice my columns here. Choose a column to filter on, right? If I want to look at assigned to, now this is below. If I want to look at category option, just adding the information instead of those checkboxes above. So again, if you have questions about my overall presentation, feel free to add that in or include any information that you would like. I'd love to be able to answer those at this time. Like I said, I know this is kind of a teaser for most of you, customers are really for everybody that have seen the software before. But this is just a general layout of Tenno and how it works. So that's basically it for me. I'll kind of wait for a second and see if there's any questions. I'm just trying to scroll here right now to see. But Amy, are you there? I mean, have you seen any questions you want me to answer?
I have not seen any questions come through. So again, if you do have questions, go ahead and put them through on the chat or the Q&A.
I do see one question here from Marty. It says, can a ticket status auto-change based on certain criteria, like it's been open for a month? The answer is yes. It's a tool that we use called the scheduler. It's our automation tool. So, exactly what you're saying, if it's been open for a month and hasn't been modified, we can automatically, close out the ticket to change the status, or we can change it to say it's a stale ticket or, whatever information that you want. If it's been open or hasn't been modified for an X amount of time, we have a few different action items that we can take with that. We can send an email, we can change the status, change the priority, we can do all three of them, or anything like that. So yes, we can do that. It is a very powerful tool. It's actually my favorite tool in the help desk, the scheduler, but that's kind of how it would work. And again, tons of flexibility behind that for you to be able to work. Amy, have you seen any other questions?
I have not.
Well, that's it for me then. I'll be on here and just type other questions.